Region Review.
The Raging Cajuns will be a source of pride for this university, for the alumni, fans, and donors as we achieve success in the classroom, in the competitive arena, and in the community.
It's about to get really fun.
We're looking for dudes that will stand up. Well, Coach, let me tell you today, I'm here and I'm ready to stand up. And I challenge you, Raging Cajun Nation, to stand up with us. Stand up with us. Let's lock hand in hand and let's walk through the gates of Omaha.
Hey, I love y'all boys. Let's grind every day starting today. Let's do it. Y'all ready? Alert! Alert! Ready! Who's that team ready? Who's that team ready? That's up!
I got one thing to say right here. Cajuns win!
Another Saturday, another win. Louisiana Raging Cajuns take care of business by dominating Arkansas State and avenging last year's loss in Jonesboro against the Red Wolves. Final score on this homecoming evening, Louisiana Raging Cajuns 55, Arkansas State Red Wolves 19. We've got lots to talk about tonight on this Cajuns victory. Louisiana record now at 8-1 overall, 5-0 in conference play, sole possession of first place in the Sun Belt Western Division, and still controlling their own destiny and not only winning the division, but having a chance to host the conference championship game. This is their sixth straight win dating back to September, and the success just keeps on rolling. As Coach Des says, the Cajuns keep winning. Guys, I'm Jerry, joined by Nick. Nick, this was probably the first time this season where we really needed to see or wanted to see a complete game, or should I say saw a complete game by this Raging Cajun football team. Just from start to finish, it was just pure domination against a Red Wolves team that going into this game, people were saying could give us a run for our money.
Look, 20 and 21, we kind of said the same thing. I mean, I'm telling you, the trajectory of this team is a lot like what we saw during the Napier era in the last couple of years, because we played conference teams really closely. We always end up finding a way to win. And then you get the blowout every couple of games that you're like, holy crap. Okay. All right. We can relax now. We are good, because we kept questioning ourselves. Well, you only won by this much against this team. Oh, you won against this much against that team. Not that anybody's complaining, but we'd like to have, Jay, I'm calling you out again. You called me out publicly and said, well, you don't want to win games. You'd rather not win a game than win a close game. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying these types of games, I want to have a once in a while where I can, at halftime, go make a run to the store, not worry about getting back in time to see what happens at the opening kickoff. So, no, really happy. I thought execution across the board was really good. Our defensive line, our offensive line completely dominated them, especially in the running game, which I told you was going to be a key. We had to be able to run the ball against Arkansas State because they were ranked 125th in the country. They are poo-poo at defending against the run, and it showed tonight on the way that we were able to move the ball on them. Was a little concerned at the beginning. We had Diddy fingers on that first pass from Ben, but we seemed to settle down a little bit. I thought Dalen Cambry and Dalen Cambry played lights out on special teams tonight. I mean, that dude is just really good. And then Jacob Bernard also had a really good night. Tyrone Lewis with that pick was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the same guys we talk about every week just coming out and doing their job and doing what they do. They did it tonight and showed it to all of us. So again, just a wonderful night, and holy cow, we're 8-1, Jerry. That is incredible.
That's unbelievable, man. And also one other thing I wanted to add to your point on how we won this game. We also contained Jalen Raynor tonight. Jalen Raynor dominated us last year in Jonesboro. I mean, when he was able to get the best of us from that first touchdown drive last season, we just couldn't keep up with him. And I thought this year, Coach Salgado and his staff really came together and put a great defensive game plan to contain him. And look, granted, his own teammates did not help him, dropping some key crucial passes early in the game to kind of halt any type of potential momentum they had. But man, we were on him all game. I thought our defensive line did a really good job putting pressure on him. I thought our linebackers did a good job creating some containment. Even when they tried to open up the run outside of a few touchdown drives, they did gash us once or twice, but for the most part, we kept them off the field, kept them off their rhythm. And then on offense, we dominated them just in all phases. I'm looking at these stats right now: 301 yards passing in the air, 278 yards on the ground, 579 yards of total offense, just downright pure domination offensively. That was just what the doctor ordered. And so we'll talk more about that as the game goes on. But guys, whether you're on the Twitter space or commenting, we'll be taking your calls, your comments, what you saw, your analysis in the game. So if you do want to chime in, please raise your hand, request to speak. We'll be more than happy to hear what you have to say. But just wanted to also mention tonight, attendance, 16,451. Pretty disappointing. Well, I'm not going to say I was too happy about that. Granted, it was better than the 14,000 that showed up against App State. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this post game, Nick, about the marketing side, because, I sit around a bunch of fans that are diehard, passionate Cajun fans. And one of the things that we talked about was how, we're in contention for the college football playoff, Nick. Right as we speak, we are in contention to make the college football playoff. Now, do I think we're going to make it as of tonight? Probably not. But being in that conversation, that should be a way to find a way to run with it from a marketing standpoint, letting people know that this team is in contention for a college football playoff spot, in turn competing for a national championship. So we'll talk about that later on, but we'll stick with the positives for right now. Cajuns win again, 55-19 over Arkansas State, 8-1 overall. 5-0 in conference play, and control of their own destiny going into the final stretch of this regular season before heading off into the championship game, as long as they keep doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I have plenty of things to say about the attendance issue, and I can't wait to get to that. But I'm with you. I just want to be happy right now. I'll get through a couple of bourbons. We'll get through the Jack and Coke, and then we'll get into that. But no, man, it's good for us to finally put someone away and dominate them. And man, I wanted to see I wanted to see my dude Butch Jones crying on the sideline. In fact, if you look at the pod, I don't know if you noticed, but the pod cover tonight on YouTube is Butch Jones crying. So I wanted to see Butch Jones cry tonight, and he's going to be crying on his way back to Jonesboro. So I'm okay with that.
Well, this was by far the most dominant game, or most dominated that Arkansas State has had this year, including their trip to Ann Arbor, Michigan, at the Big House against the Michigan Wolverines.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that tonight was what the doctor ordered. We've been waiting for a complete game like this. We gave it to him, and I think we gave it to him, Nick, at a crucial time of the season. This is where you have to play your best football. We're in the month of November now. You start sniffing the postseason. You start sniffing that potential to win a conference championship. Let's hope that this keeps going. But for tonight, it's one hell of a start.
Yeah, and Chris Faber, David Faber's talking about Chandler scoring the TD, and then Chris coming back with he was loosing the hips on the celly. I'm okay with that. Chandler deserved it, man. Love to see. I mean, he just drove it down the field, and I love to see Chandler get any kind of good recognition that he deserves for doing what he does for this team. So that's pretty awesome.
There's no.
Oh, and by the way, and we do have to mention Kenny Almendares is now the all-time leading scorer at UL. And Kenny, I'm telling you, man, I didn't know you were the guy kicking off earlier in the season when I was getting pissed. And I didn't know you were being told to kick that way. I'm just saying. You're freaking money, dude.
Congratulations to Kenny, the kicker. What an honor. All-time leading scorer in UL history. Very well deserved. Great teammate, great player. And, we know he's got a lot more left in the tank as this season continues.
We do. Hey, can we open up the line? Because I see RC sitting
Let's
there.
Go. Let's go.
You know, it's always interesting when Ryan's on the line. So RC, what is going on, baby? I'm sure it's a happy time wherever you are right now, brother.
Well, 55-19. It don't get much better than that, baby.
I agree.
No, not at all.
I'm struggling to. I think we're gonna have maybe the shortest post game ever. Because what do you even say?
You say Butch Jones is a crybaby bitch, and go back to Jonesboro and suck on that nipple. Go back.
That's what I'm talking about. RC, what do you think about the attendance and the atmosphere tonight?
The attendance sucked. Well, I don't even really want to like get into that because where I said it at the beginning of the week, we probably would have 16. What did they announce?
Right over 16.
16,451. Yeah, 16,451.
You have the cool guys over there in Baton Rouge getting their ass kicked right now, but everything's cool over there, so that's where they want to be. I want everybody to know that I've been a part of this program since I was born. I was at the first basketball game in the Cajun Dome. I was in Blackham Coliseum in my mom's womb. This is in my blood. So like not everybody is like me. I am rooted in this program, so I really can't get mad at everybody for wanting to be in Baton Rouge. But like we have a good time over here. We have a good freaking team. We're exciting to watch, and we're putting the pedal to the metal. And I just wish that everybody would kind of see what we have over here and come to Lafayette. We got 2 more home games in a row. And we have a better chance at getting in the playoffs than this yellow and purple team that's getting their ass whooped on TV right now, where all of our people are across the basin.
But here's the thing, RC. If you don't tell people that, they won't know. Like you and I know because we're diehards. The people in the space know because they're diehards. But if you don't tell the people what's going on, how will they know?
I can't disagree with that. I'm flabbergasted by, I know, like you said, you're in Houston, but like you have an algorithm from your Twitter feed or whatever, but I didn't see anything this week, really. I know Big Kev said he had the algorithm going and he saw some stuff, but I really didn't see a lot of things this weekend, man. Or this week leading up to this game. And I just don't understand it. I'll never understand it. And okay, so I'm not trying to get into the basketball conversation, but we had yell like hell on Thursday whenever we had a basketball game going on, right? So why do we do that at the same time that we have a basketball game? Why do we not incorporate that to where we get everybody involved and try to get everybody to the basketball? Or to the football game. I don't understand like what's going on with the promotion or the marketing. I don't know, dude. But tonight was a good night. We beat the. You know what? I'm not gonna curse. I know it's after dark. I done said too many F words to last a lifetime on Rage Review After Dark. But I don't understand why people don't show up.
No, I get it, man. And listen, keep listening.
They really should.
And I agree. And keep listening because I got some things to say. I got a list of things to go down as to why they don't come.
All right.
Well, RC, baby, we are 8-1. We're in the playoff conversation.
Hey, Nick, I want to say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
What does Terry have to complain about tonight?
Well, Terry hasn't even requested to speak yet. I'm kind of disappointed.
Exactly. He shouldn't say yes. He shouldn't say nothing.
Well, we'll see. Just give him time. I invited him to speak, so we'll see.
He's gonna think of something. I promise.
Well, it is Terry, so you wouldn't have a Terry call without that. But
I love you, Terry.
We all love Terry, man. RC, you're awesome, dude. Thanks for chiming in, bro.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Yeah, light on the calls tonight, Jerry. I think everybody's out there celebrating homecoming, so if somebody pops up, I'll let you know. But yeah, that's all for now. Glad to hear from RC chiming in. I know a lot of people are out there tailgating right now, hopefully. Did it even rain at the game? I don't think they got any rain.
We had some drizzles, but it wasn't anything like there was a part in the second quarter where it kind of came down like slightly for like a minute or two, and you could tell people in the stands were putting on their ponchos. but I just sat where I was and I didn't really get wet that badly. So it was very, very, very minuscule to where, compared to the forecast that was told to us, it was really nothing. Earlier today, and shout out to everybody involved with the homecoming parade. Earlier today, Kayla and I took Allie out. We brought the wagon out and met with some friends in the tailgate area for the parade. It was well put together. We had a bunch of floats. We had the Hall of Fame inductees with their floats. We had all the different Greek organizations, including my wife's, who was a Tri Sigma, and all the girls get excited when they roll around, and we had friends with their kids and out there, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great atmosphere. It was a little bit more humid than I thought it would be. It was actually pretty hot outside for November, but it was a little partly cloudy, overcast, but the rain stayed away for the parade, thankfully, especially with our 2-year-old out there. So they did a good job with the parade. The tailgate scene was okay. Kind of wish there were more people. We made it for the Cajun Walk. That was great. But
I got to tell you, though, it was kind of funny, and I could tell it was humid because a couple of guys started cramping up. But later in the game, I don't remember who it was. I don't even remember if we were on offense or defense. We might have been on defense, but one of our linemen went down with a cramp, and then he took a while, so they went to break, and then they came back from break. He was still on the ground. It was just so funny to watch Dez walk out there, and he had the Dez look, like he's pissed off, and he walks up to the guy and was like, "What's the problem?" And they were like, "He's cramping up." I was like, "Get your ass up!" So he pulled him up and got him to the sideline. But this late in the season for a long ball game, and it's still humid, I guess you do cramp up. I mean, hell, Jerry, there have been a couple times I've been driving on the way back and forth from Lafayette, and I got a cramp in my back, and I had to try to work that out as I'm sitting and driving in the car and trying not to wreck at 70 miles an hour. So it's it's painful, but watching Dez say, "Hey, get your ass up, son," and pulling him off the field was kind of funny.
Yeah, no question about it.
What's up, RC?
Oh, I was about to say Dez just didn't want to get fined.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I don't know if we're doing that. I think that's an SEC thing, but he's trying to cover his ass. You're right. Dubois, I see you there, man. Thanks for requesting to speak. What's going on, sir?
Hey guys, so yeah, before we get too far away from it, my one note right now is about the attendance numbers. I think more so this weekend than in the past, we've had a perfect storm of things going against attendance. So besides the TSAP game, and then the rain, everyone thought it was supposed to start raining at like noon or whatever. I had two very good friends of mine, so I'm not going to throw them on the bus by naming them, but they went to the Yard Goat anticipating rain. They said, we're just going to hide out here until the weather clears, and it just, it didn't start raining. But it was also opening day of duck season in the West Zone, and so you got all your people that put duck hunting a little bit higher than the football game. They're out, still in the camp, still in the marsh, wherever they are. And so I think, this is one of those rare weekends where it's probably not so much apathy for the team as it is more extenuating circumstances than normal that led to the lower attendance numbers, which surprised us still at 16, all things considered.
Respectfully disagree with you, and I'll tell you why in a second. I don't want to get into it quite yet. I want to enjoy the win a little bit longer, but I have some pretty damning evidence that doesn't fit what people are saying. Because I've heard that too, man. I've heard the weather looked bad, T-Sap's playing, ESPN's in Baton Rouge, duck season. Somebody even said that there was a festival in Karen Crow that starts tonight. And I'm like, festival in freaking Karen Crow? What are you talking about? And it's the seasoning. Now we have a seasoning festival because, we didn't have that one. Because I guess we stole Boudin from them. Whatever.
Well, hey, more charitable or more conspiracy-oriented explanation, I'd love to hear it. I was just doing
no.
Yeah, my best to be open-minded.
I appreciate that.
I'd love to hear the
I appreciate that. Jerry, I'll let you determine when we get into that, but I have some different thoughts on that.
Sure. That's no problem.
You want to do it now?
I mean, let's tell you what. Let me go through some stats real quick.
Yeah, do that. I was going to say go through stats. We'll see if anybody else wants to chime in, and then we'll get into the discussion.
Yeah, so like I said, Louisiana Raging Cajuns victorious tonight over Arkansas State, 55-19. Total yards of offense, Louisiana had 579 total yards of offense. Arkansas State had 401 total yards of offense. Passing, Louisiana 300 yards passing in the air to Arkansas State's 192 passing yards. Let's see, rushing yards, Louisiana ran the ball for 278 yards. Arkansas State ran the ball for 209 yards. Offensively, Louisiana 8.9 yards per play to Arkansas State's 5.3 yards per play. First downs, Louisiana had 27 first downs. Arkansas State had 28 first downs. Third down efficiency, Louisiana was 7 for 12 on third downs. Arkansas State 6 for 13 on third downs. Fourth down efficiency, Louisiana did not go forward on fourth down. Arkansas State went forward on fourth down just once. They were 0 for 1. And total plays, Louisiana had 65 total plays of offense. Arkansas State had 76 total plays of offense. Turnovers, neither team had a fumble that was lost. And of course, Louisiana forced 2 turnovers through interceptions. Louisiana had the ball 30 minutes and 40 seconds to Arkansas State's time of possession of 29 minutes and 20 seconds. Penalties, Louisiana had 4 penalties for 25 yards. Arkansas State had 4 penalties for 45 yards. Louisiana punted the ball twice. Arkansas State punted the ball 5 times. Let's go to some individual stats. Ben Wooldridge today, 17 of 26, 264 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Chandler Fields, 4 for 5 in the air for 34 yards. And Daniel Beal, first time getting some play time as a Louisiana Raging Cajun, 1 for 2 for 3 yards in the air. Louisiana rushing attack was led by Draylon Washington, 8 carries, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 15.4 yards a carry. Bill Davis, 11 carries for 65 yards with 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.9 yards a carry. Zylan Perry had 8 carries for 59 yards, averaging 7.4 yards a carry and a touchdown. Ben Wooldridge also had 3 carries for 18 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. And Chandler Fields, 1 carry for 12 yards, which ended up being a touchdown, and his very erotic dance that he did in the end zone. Let's see. And Tylen Citizen had 1 carry for 1 yard. Receiving was led by Lance Lejeune, 4 receptions, 58 yards, no touchdowns. Robert Williams had 3 receptions for 55 yards, which included a very impressive long pass play that he had that to me looked like ESPN top 10. So good day for him. Harvey Broussard, 2 receptions, 48 yards, including 1 touchdown. Terrence Carter, 3 receptions for 47 yards. Ty Stamey, 3 receptions for 31 yards. Bill Davis had 1 reception for 18 yards. Jaden Johnson, 1 reception for 17 yards. Dalen Cambry, 1 reception for 13 yards. Travion Colbert, 1 reception for 6 yards. Jacob Bernard, 1 reception for 3 yards. Dale Martin had a reception for 3 yards, and Chaz Ward, 1 reception for 2 yards. Kenny Almendarez, once again, breaking the all-time record in scoring in Louisiana Raging Cajun football history. 2 for 2 on field goals, including a long 45-yard field goal. Once again, congratulations to Kenny Almendarez. Tomey had 2 punts, total yardage of 100 yards, averaging 50 yards. So job well done to the Cajuns today. Once again, Louisiana Raging Cajuns victorious over the Red Wolves by the score of 55-19.
That was a lot of stats, Jerry.
I might as well go through.
I'm not lying.
No, you're good, man.
You out there for a second.
No, you're good. You're good. So, I will say that I would like to, I guess we can kind of discuss the attendance situation. I wanted to talk about the marketing as well leading into it. We talked about it the other night, and it kind of hit me this morning. I'm watching College Game Day, and I noticed that the Louisiana Raging Cajuns are in the mix for the college football playoff berth, or the college football playoff spot for the G5. And what's happened is, unfortunately for us, as I look, I can go turn it on College Game Day and see the Raging Cajuns logo as far as being in the hunt for the college football playoff, but I don't see anything around town. I don't see anything locally. I don't see anything on the local news, the local newspaper. I don't know. I don't know. I think we are really missing a huge opportunity to really promote the fact that we're in the college football playoff hunt. I don't think people really understand around here that aren't marketing it how big that is and how it doesn't cost any money to advertise that. To me, that should be breaking news on our local news networks. That should be breaking news on our radio shows. That should be breaking news on the newspapers. Hell, our own newspaper said that College Game Day is going to be in Lafayette between TSAB and Alabama. We can't even get the city right in our local newspaper. You know, the messaging has just been terrible as far as just getting things corrected and getting things consistent. And so to me, it starts with marketing. If you were to go around Lafayette and start telling people that the Louisiana Raging Cajun football team is in the hunt for a college football playoff berth, I would think people would get on board with that, Nick. The problem is I don't think people know. Even being in Lafayette, I really don't think people know. And then you go post it. We post it on social media, and most of the reaction is positive, but some of the reaction is shock. Like, oh man, I didn't know that. That's great, man. That's so awesome to be in the conversation. It's like, well, why aren't we pushing that? That's an easy low-hanging fruit marketing gig that we could be pushing through right now.
You know, and first, I know we get players, parents. The Jensens come in here every week. I love them in the space and watch us. And I want to say this comes from a place of love for the players, because I want nothing more than the players to play in front of a packed swamp every single week. And I know that's not possible. I know there are things that happen logistically and you know, things happen and you're not going to get a packed swamp every week. I get that. However, here are some of the excuses that I heard tonight about why people weren't going to go to the game. It might rain. TSAB's playing Alabama. Game day's in Baton Rouge. Well, we could just watch it on. It's ESPN Plus's fault. If they didn't have ESPN Plus, you know, more people would go. The seasoning festival is going on. I told you that's in Karen Crow.
The what?
The seasoning festival.
We have a seasoning festival.
Oh, this is the first
okay.
one. Yeah. I'm not going to say first annual because it hasn't happened yet. So the first ever seasoning festival at Pelican Park in Karen Crow is going on. I think Dubois just said there's something called Arco or something going on. Duck hunting season starts today. Here's the problem I have with all the excuses on blaming the fans for not showing up. Tulane today facing a 2-6 Temple team who's not at all in the hunt. They're not a good team. Tulane Stadium was rocking with 30,000 people. Tulane. Guess what? It rained in Ullman Stadium. TSAB still playing Alabama, even though it's Tulane. They're in New Orleans. Guess what? Game day was still in Baton Rouge. Those fans showed up. It was on ESPN. Those fans still showed up. We talk about, oh, there's just too much that goes on in Lafayette. Let's talk about what was going on in New Orleans this weekend. Today,
you're in New Orleans. Yeah. New Orleans has nothing else to do.
The Treme Gumbo Festival, the Dessert Festival, which by the way is fantastic. I've been there. The Early Partners Fall Festival on Annunciation Street, something called Galloping, but that's going on Julia Street. It's like an art thing. The Agave Festival was going on. That sounds like fun. And let's go a little outside the city because we're talking about Karen Crow. So let's go to the Destrehan Fall Festival's going on. The annual Fall Festival fundraiser in Destrehan's going on. The Three Rivers Art Festival in Covington. Covington had the School of Rock Three Rivers Art Festival thing going on, and Swap Fest in Kenner. Okay, all that going on, and Tulane drew 30,000 people, and the stadium was rocking. It was crazy. They got it figured out. Do you know why, Jerry? They got it figured out because they built upon their appearance at the Cotton Bowl. Because they said, you know what? Look how great this is, free marketing. Let's pump that up. Let's be intentional. Let's put it in everybody's face. We made it to the Cotton Bowl. People responded
and won it.
And you won it. And won it, by the way, convincingly. So what do we do instead? We were talking about this the other day. What do we do? Do we have any banners showing off our conference championship in football? No. Do we have anything showing, being ranked in the top 20 several times? Nope. What did we ever do to build upon that? When Billy left, we had all this success. What did we do to build on that? Did we put it in your face and say, hey guys, this team was ranked 16th in the nation. Show up. Nope. Didn't do any of that. And I think the most frustrating thing to me is that the people, it's like Oz. You got the man behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain, which I consider the administration, thinks that they're all knowing, and we don't know what we're talking about. Get a mascot. Nope, we don't do that. Be intentional with your marketing. Nope, silence. Make the game day experience consistent. Nope. Lower the tailgating costs. Well, we can't do that. We got to make money. Promote our success. Banners, ads, be on TV. Go out in the community. Be consistent there. We've never bragged about being in the playoff conversation. Jerry, you mentioned that. There's been nothing from the university outside of a graphic that Dan talked about today that said, holy cow, look at us. Nothing. It's silence. And then we have homecoming, and there was no marketing. I don't know who they marketed to. Again, I'm in Houston, so that's why I asked you earlier this week, because I had the vibe. I have seen and heard nothing. It's going to be a terrible attendance. And guess what? It came true. But I don't know what I'm talking about, Jerry. We don't know what we're talking about. We just want to bitch to bitch. No, we bitch because we care. We want what Tulane has. Tulane was terrible in football for several years before they had success. And when they finally had success, they built on it. They capitalized on it. They put it in your face, and they made you want to go to Yulman Stadium. And they showed up today, 30,000 people in the rain with TSAB on TV, with ESPN Game Day there on national television. And all I get is, well, it was duck hunting season. So, people just won't show up. It's bullshit. Because if they can do it, we can do it. But we choose not to. And I really think it's complacency and people that are too comfortable in their jobs. And maybe we don't have the right people in the right positions. But the fact that we didn't market the shit out of this game, and that it's not plastered everywhere about the fact that we could possibly make the playoff is mind-boggling.
Yeah,
absolutely. It drives me insane, Jerry. How can we not do something so simple for free? It's handed to you on a silver platter, take it and run with it. And we're just like, no, let's just sit back and let's just win games. I mean, we're winning games. They should show up. It's not how it works. This ain't 1920. You got to market to our people, and we don't do it.
And that's why I get tired of hearing the whole "you're negative" crap, because this is an opportunity right now. Again, you're in the hunt, and I want people to clearly listen to what I'm about to say. We are one of maybe 5 or 6 G5 teams as we speak that is in the hunt to get a spot in the college football playoff, which means we are we are a finalist to be one of the final 12 teams to play and to contend and compete for a national championship. Why the hell are we not taking that and plastering that all over town to let our people and the people of Lafayette and Acadiana know that? Why are we not using
Jerry.
that? Why are we not running with that? I mean, we still run in baseball, in spite of all the success we've had in baseball. And Nick, you're in the middle of this in baseball. We still run with the 2000 Omaha appearance, and we capitalize on it. It's 25 years ago. We capitalize on it. We still talk about it. And you know what we've done? We've taken that run and we've built what the program is today with other recent successes outside of that one appearance. Why? Because fans attracted themselves to the games. They attracted themselves to the program. They supported the program, which in turn attracted recruits. Recruits became a part of it. We created and embedded our own culture within the success of baseball, which is why we have one of the best baseball traditions in all of college baseball, because we took a piece of success and built on it and capitalized on it. Right now, we have an easy opportunity to capitalize on the fact that we're 8-1. I would say we might get in the top 25 tomorrow. Now we are in the driver's seat to host the conference championship and win the Sun Belt Western Division. And we're in the driver's seat, or not the driver's seat, but we're in contention to be in a playoff game. Why aren't we screaming that from the top of the rafters right now in this community? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. That takes no effort. You know what we did today? You know what we did today, Nick? We posted a screenshot that Josh sent us, and I put it all over social media, and look at the reaction we got from people. It took me 5 seconds. It took me 5 seconds. It didn't take me an arm and a leg and an act of Congress to post the damn picture. It took me 5 seconds to say, hey, it's nice to be in the conversation. And there's our logo in the middle for a playoff spot. It took me 5 seconds.
But why do we treat this game that we played in 1996 against Texas A&M and we put a freaking field goal up as a monument for one top 25 win we had? Why are we so focused on that and not something that, like, beating Iowa State was much bigger than beating Texas A&M? You would think that never happened. Winning the Sun Belt Conference should have been bigger than that. Freaking being in the playoff and actually being in the conversation to be in the playoff, I should say, should be astronomically bigger than that. That's why I'm bewildered. Like, why is that one A&M win so in our face all the time, but yet we're competing to be in the college playoff and you hear nothing? It is silence. And going back to why people aren't showing up, well, it's like if you chop down a tree in the forest or if a tree falls in the forest, does it make noise if nobody hears it? It's the same thing. If nobody is telling the TSAB fan that's watching the game, that didn't come to the game tonight and is watching them on TV get their butt kicked, if nobody's telling them, hey, by the way, we're here and we're in the conversation, they don't know or care. We got to give people a reason to go out there. And we talk about other things. Let's talk about the fact that it's been years of pricing out the common fan and tailgating and ticket prices. We're talking about the new side of the stadium we're building. The stadium club's going to be like $5,000 just to get a foot in the door to go buy a drink. Okay. Let's talk about ignoring the common fan, Jerry. We're all paying fans. We're paying customers. People who bitch and moan, instead of listening, they just write them off. Well, no, they just want to complain. They don't pay enough. We'll listen to the people who pay enough. But if you don't pay enough, you don't matter. And then it's years of thinking you're smarter than everybody else. You know what that gets you, Jerry? 16,000 people for a 7-1 team in playoff contention at a home game, at homecoming. That's what you get when you do those things, when you price them out, when you don't listen. We've been screaming about getting a mascot. No, we don't do that. Be intentional with your marketing. No, we don't do that. All the things I listed, we've said, you do this, we'll get people. Nope. Not going to do it. We're smarter than you. We know better. So I don't want to take the glisten off of the win tonight because the win tonight was important. I love the win tonight. It was great. I was very happy. But that has just been bugging me for so long. And tonight was like, I think the just everything coming together. I mean, hell, we were 2-2. We just came off of losing to ULM and Rice in 2021. And we played South Alabama at home and got 20,000 people in the stands. We were 2-2 and just came off of 2 awful losses. And we're 7-1 contending for the playoff. That is an indictment on the administration, just like I was talking about basketball. That is the common fan telling you, I don't want to go see your product, or maybe I don't know about your product. But you can't continue to ignore the person that won't buy season tickets. You can't continue to ignore the people who have experience working in the athletic department and are telling you literally, do this and you will get results. You can't continue to just mail it in and say, well, we're winning. Why are people showing up? It's not rocket science. If you market, if you're intentional, in your face, make a consistent experience, make it somewhere people want to be, and tell people why they need to be there, you're going to draw fans. I will not blame this on the fans. I will not blame this on Lafayette and Acadiana, because it's been years of doing this that have gotten to this point. So again, they had 8 festivals just in New Orleans this weekend, and they drew 30,000 people against a bad opponent. And we draw 16,000 against one of our longest rivalries, who we should be absolutely hating. And it's homecoming, and we're 7-1, and we're in the playoff contention, and nobody showed up. Thank you to those who did, because that's our base. That is our fan base.
And you know the sad part, Nick? The crowd, the atmosphere was good.
It was great. It sounded
great. It was
great.
loud. Fans were into it. I mean, it was good, but it would have been nice to maybe have 5,000 or 6,000 more.
Agreed.
to share,
Agreed.
you
But
know,
we
and,
just-
and
we-
to enjoy it.
But we just got to stop ignoring what the obvious. I literally think it's complacency. And somebody said there needs to be a shakeup somewhere. And they said in the fan base or administration, there needs to be a shakeup in the administration because the fans are there. People are there. We have got to stop acting like you're smarter than everyone because you're not. Obviously, it's not working. We drew more people with HUD when we were not winning and we were not in the playoff race and none of this was going on that we're drawing now. Something has got to give. Or we can just keep going down this path, and then when we start losing players and say, oh, it's NIL. It ain't NIL, brother. Nobody wants to play in front of a high school crowd. They want to play in front of a lot of people. So, you know, Jerry, that's my rant, and I'm going to get off of it because, again, tonight was fun. It was homecoming. We won. It's 8-1. I just had to get that off because I've been writing this list for so long, and tonight was finally the peak of like my frustration with how we deal with the Acadiana region. And it is just so inconsistent and it is so nonchalant and it's not people from here. They don't get the culture and they don't even ask people to come. And you know what? If you ask people to come and you make it intentional and you do those things and you look like you give a crap, then I'm not going to complain and we just don't have a fan base. But if Tulane can do it after being so terrible for so many years, we can certainly do it too, Jerry. That is my point. They don't have excuses. They don't make excuses.
Well, no, they don't. And Tulane, and look, I'm going to tell you, growing up in New Orleans, I've been to a few Tulane games growing up in the Superdome. And I mean, you had more at an Acadiana or STM game than you did on a Friday night than you did at a Tulane game. But here's the thing. Tulane like I said about baseball, like we've capitalized on recent success or past successes. Tulane capitalized on the Cotton Bowl, like you said. I mean, they really didn't have much winning going on before then. And then all of a sudden they go win the Cotton Bowl against USC. And since then, they've just packed the place. But you know what else they've done? They've also consistently won, and their game day experience has been consistent as well. And one of the best things that Tulane did was build that on-campus stadium because their tailgate's right in the heart of their campus. Now, we don't have that luxury of having tailgating on our campus, but at the same time, we've seen what good tailgating looks like here in Lafayette. We've seen what Cajun Field looks like when it's packed with fans. And, you know, as you know, Chris Faber's saying it, Chris is saying it, you know, our biggest complaint in the past were we had all the tailgaters out in Cajun Field, but they wouldn't come in. But my response to that was, yes, that's true. Now, not all of them came in, but you know what? During those days, you got over 23,000 every single home game in spite of the fans not coming in because there were so many people tailgating outside in the Cajun Field parking lot.
But we priced them all out, Jerry. We priced them
all
out.
We did. And look, that's the thing. Like, and I know we try to play compare and contrast to other schools and all that stuff. But again, the quality of the tailgate never change. It's not like you added all of these you added the electricity plugs and all that stuff. That's great, but it's not like you upgraded the Cajun Field parking lot. It's not like you grew trees and all these flowers beds and stuff to make it look prettier. It's still the same place, and you doubled the cost. It would be like, again, I used this analogy before. You go eat at McDonald's and you eat a Big Mac for $6 or $7, and then the next day you show up, it's $20. I'm not going back to McDonald's after that. And that's kind of what we did back in like 2015. We tried to capitalize and it just didn't work. So, you know, I'm not saying, you know, go back and lower the price. What I am saying is and because of the new stadium coming, we're going to have to, you know, create a certain level of price there because of the quality, but you're going to have to find a way to also fill your new stadium. I hope that they have a good contingency plan to say, okay, obviously the prices are going up, but we don't want our stadium looking empty like what UAB's experiencing in that nice stadium that they built in Birmingham. I don't want our stadium to look like that. I want people in our stadium.
I'm just tired of excuses, Jerry. I'm tired of the excuses they give us because if Tulane can do it, we can do it. And I don't want to hear, well, New Orleans is a bigger area. That's BS. They're not that much bigger than Acadiana. We're not going there.
You'll never win that. You'll never give me that argument, considering the fact that I remember going to Tulane games when I can count literally 200 people in the Superdome. And even at Yeoman back in the day, like in 2014, 2015, they had empty stadiums back then. So I don't want to hear that.
They kick our ass at game day experience. Period. End of story. Terry Johnson, you've been holding, man. You know what? I wasn't going to play this, but
tradition,
because I probably deserve it. But go ahead, Terry. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was gonna just say positive things going on, but y'all just got into the attendance and everything, so I guess I'll rant about the negative. First of all, I'm saying great win. I hate Arkansas State. I wish they could market. I wish they would market Arkansas State and the hate for this team.
I agree, man. I can't freaking stand them, man.
I just don't. I mean, like, because you have to be. I said it like I said it a few years ago. You have to indoctrinate your young fan base, and we broke. Did we break the record this year or last year on the most freshmen? Biggest freshman.
I think it was this year. Yeah,
it was this year. I think. Yeah.
You have to indoctrinate these freshmen and be like, hey, you don't like Arkansas State, you don't like Tech, you don't like App State, you don't like these. You have to indoctrinate your fan base. You have to brainwash them into loving you. Like that's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. I didn't know about how much hate there was between Tech and ULM until somebody told me about it as I was a player. I mean, no one had. People had to kind of and I was a football player. People had to kind of tell me about the history of why I don't like these schools, and we don't indoctrinate our fan base, man. And going back to what y'all said about we plaster the Texas A&M win all over, and we don't talk about the Iowa State win. I think that's just old people just living out the good old days, and we don't have enough young people in the administration to say anything. Because it's like, it's funny. It's like I went to Dr. Maggard. I saw Dr. Maggard a few years back at the Independence Bowl, right, against Houston. I saw him. I shook his hand, right? I know he's got a hard job. He came to me and he said, hey, I hear all your complaints. I know about your complaints. Thank you for saying some of the stuff, which is good that he knows this, but it's like he hears us complaining, but nothing's changing. And I know he has a hard job. I know it's not just him. I know, but they hear all of us. They know our voices. And I know I'm not the most positive guy, but Jesus Christ, man, we got to do something.
Terry, so I can't tell you how many times between Jerry and I and Josh, people have come up to us that are associated with the program, and they're like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Hey, what you say is right. Yeah, what you say is correct. Okay, that's great, but do something.
I mean, it's it's funny. It's I see last year I think South Al had or year before that, they got their new stadium. They sold out a midweek game, 25,000 in their new stadium. Very good stadium from what people tell me. And you see this past Thursday game, Coastal Carolina, they had 20,000. I mean, it's a small stadium. They had 20,000 in a rivalry game against App State, who's not even that good this year. I mean, let's be honest. Arkansas State's a better team when you think about it than App State's been. And they got 20,000 on a midweek game, and we can't get 20,000 on a homecoming.
Terry, Tulane played Temple today. Temple's 2-6. They're awful.
They're terrible. They're
and they
so
drew
bad.
30,000, and that place was freaking rocking, dude.
I mean, Tulane pushes, the USC win. I mean, the Mormon versus Mullis win is still being played on SportsCenter every time Coastal Carolina is on the damn TV. And they love it. And Grayson McCall's always on the TV, even though he's retired. I mean, I don't like Grayson McCall, but I'm sad he's, he had to retire from football for the injury. But I mean, you see, they are pushing their brands and their faces of their program. But I mean, we can't push Ben Wooldridge as one of the best, quarterbacks in the college football right now. I mean, I think he's top 10 in QBR. Which I don't know how you measure QBR. I don't really know, but still, he's top 10 in QBR.
So right there. So what you're saying, what you're telling me, Terry, is we have a top 10 quarterback playing for us right now.
Terry, we should have people.
So,
and I know this is silly, but we should have Ben for Heisman, posters all over Cajun Field. I know it's dumb, but it's funny, but it would engage people. Fear the beard, Ben for Heisman. Why are we not doing it? And I just thought of that as we're talking. Why are people who are supposed to be smarter than me not coming up with these ideas? Is it laziness? It's complacency, in my opinion.
I don't know. I remember somebody saying this a while back. I think we have TSAB fans inside the administration that just want our fan base to fail. I think that might be it. I don't know. Might be true. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, give me some good, Terry. Give me some good. Let's turn it around. Let's get some good stuff, man.
Okay. You know what? I'll start, Terry. I'll give you a head start. So you're a former center. You're an O lineman. You love the run game. 278 yards on the ground against the team that you hate most. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. It reminded me of that track meet against the damn Red Wolves back in my senior year in that midweek game.
I remember
2014,
That-
dude.
that-
Okay, this was probably the most dominant I've seen our offensive line since that night. Which, by the way, I watched the video the other night of I think it was Alonzo Harris. Either Elijah McGuire or Alonzo Harris broke like this 80-yard touchdown run. And what's funny is he took it to the house, and you were the first person to greet him down the field. So the first reaction I had was, "Damn, Terry can run 80 yards too." All right, that's
it was
pretty
always my
impressive.
goal to get it was always my goal to get a photo. And I hope I was the first one there. That was always my goal. And my teammates knew it. They always knew it was my goal to beat the. And I was always a big proponent. And when the ball is being ran down the field, always cover the ball, because what if there's a fumble? I was always taught that.
That's a good point.
I mean, Landon Burton did that. And you block and you run, you cover the ball, you wait for the ball carrier, and if there's a fumble, you're right there. And Landon Burton is proof of that. So that's what I always did every play, no matter what. I always covered the ball. So yeah, that was great to see, man. I was actually mad that first drive of the game, because do we have 3 and out the first drive of the game?
Hey Terry, before you go, RC's been unmuting himself, and I'm getting background. What Ryan? What you want?
I'm sorry. All I was gonna say is we had an extra 94 yards that should have been added on to the rushing total, and we had a bullshit holding call, so we could add that on too and celebrate that too. That's all I'm doing.
Thank you for bringing that up, RC.
I agree, man. And the defense play solid. I think Jalen Rayner is a very talented quarterback. I just think he's in a sophomore slump right now. I think he's very talented. I just don't know if Butch knows how to use him. They should have used him in the QB run game more today, and maybe they could have had more success. But I think we played against a solid, young quarterback. He was just in a slump right now.
Well, but Terry,
defense,
look at the first quarter, right? He had 2 really good passes, and both of them were dropped. One of which was a fourth and 11. I mean, he hasn't what I learned tonight. The kid has no help. He has no help on that offense. It is almost miraculous that they've done as well as they have, in spite of not having.
They should have lost South Al.
Yeah,
they should have lost South Al. There's no way they shouldn't have. That South Al shouldn't have beat them. I think South Al is from an overall team perspective, offense, defense, special teams. They're the most complete team in the West Division outside of us.
They can put up points. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're better than Texas State, in my opinion. I think Fluff Bothwell is going to give us problems. Might give us problems next week, but I ain't going to talk about it next week. But yeah, this is a very good win for the defense. I tweeted out to Tyron Lewis. Man, he should be a top 4 round draft pick, man. Him and Skipper are just amazing players on the back end. They need to be in the top 4 rounds.
And by the way, shout out Cam Whitfield. I mean, he was wreaking havoc all night tonight. So shout out to Cam as well, who's listening, by the way.
Yeah, him, Narcisse. How many sacks do we have? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I mean, I lost count at 3, but we had a few. we definitely had more pressures. I
thought today, even and it's improved since Texas State as well. I know Texas State, we really had a big showing, but the open field tackling today was really good, because Arkansas State also likes to spread the field. And I thought not only did we make some key open field tackles, I thought we made some open field tackles for very short yardage. It wasn't one of those, hey, let's get 5 or 6 yards and then hit him in the open field. We not only put pressure on Rayner, but we forced him to make some uncomfortable throws. And even in the short passing game, when they tried to spread it, we made some good open field tackles for maybe a net yardage gain of 4 yards maybe each time. So that's something. Now this time of year, if that starts improving, that's danger, man.
That's scary.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
No, it is. And not gonna lie, this season, and I'm pretty sure y'all can agree, past few seasons, we've just been unlucky. We should have had lost a fumble today that Ben fumbled, but I think Carter was right there to cover it up. We had, that interception from Lewis, great concentration by him, but could have easily dropped it. This season has just been turning out just the way we needed, because we just had some bad breaks the past 2 seasons. And don't look right now, and I'm not really going against them, but I think they're a better team for the playoff. But Boise State is neck and neck with the 2-7 Nevada team. And if they lose, Cajun Nation, they're even closer. So Maggard, if you're listening, do something for the next home game. Do something. I'm begging you. I know people say I'm negative. I love this team. I invest my time and money in this team. I teach my daughter about this team. We read every Saturday because we love it. And this team is given so much. This organization, this university, giving us so much as a family. I would not be in this position if it wasn't for. And these kids deserve it. You want to be in a top 25 team every year. You want Lafayette to be the place to be every year. Support this team, man. Advertise, market. These kids deserve it, bro.
I got something.
Coach Des deserves it.
You know what I would do? Terry, you got me thinking, right? Starting next week against South Alabama. Now the stakes are raised even higher because we're getting closer to crunch time. Do a marketing campaign this week. The race for the CFP starts on Saturday. If you get into the top 25, the race for the college football playoff starts next Saturday against South Alabama.
Jared. They think they're smarter than us. That's the problem.
They're scared of the hype.
They're scared if we fail. If we don't make it, oh well, then we hyped it up and we didn't make it.
Well, so what?
It's another liability thing.
Is
Everything's
everything.
liability.
Liability to say that we're in the hunt for the playoff. It's a fact. It's not liability. It's a simple fact.
No, I agree with you. I doubt they'll do it. I pray they prove me wrong. I just
and not only promote that through the fans, go to the media, go to the radio, go to the terrible newspapers that we have. Go tell them the race for the CFP here in Louisiana starts on Saturday. Technically, if you think about it, it's almost like an early playoff game already, right? You got to win every game leading into it to even be in the hunt. Why not start now?
Hey, Terry, I hate to cut you off, man, but now we actually do have people online to talk. So I'll let you wrap it up if you want to, or just hold on and you can chime in.
Last thing I'll say is I might have something to say later, but win, lose, draw. I love this team. Happy for Coach Des. Happy for all those seniors out there. You know, this team, these recruits, I saw a lot of recruits saying they were going to be at the game. You know, piss poor showing by the fan base. Pick it up next 2 home games. You got 2 more chances. Go Cajuns.
Appreciate it, Terry. Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
Terry.
Albino is in tonight. Let's go with him next. Andy, I see you. You're coming up next. What's up, Al?
Y'all know I had to talk about this one.
Oh,
right?
Come on, baby. Let's do it.
Y'all know I had to talk about
us.
this one.
Hopefully the future mascot of UL Raging Cajuns Athletics. What's going on, man?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, obviously, it's a great night, right? That was just a great win. Homecoming, especially after last year's homecoming. Just got to acknowledge just how great it is to be a Raging Cajun right now. You know, we got an 8-1 team. And that's we're competing to be in a playoff for the national championship. I mean, I'm just so happy for all the Raging Cajun faithful that have been with our university through thick and thin, through 1-win seasons. And now here we are, you know, just in a great position. But, you know, the reason I'm talking is because everything you just mentioned tonight. The lack of marketing, the attendance, the whole reason the albino campaign is happening is because there's an endemic problem that never gets addressed. I'm going to tell you guys, you know, a lot of people go after Maggard, and truly, from my experiences, it's Maggard's job is athletics. It's athletics. And we've been doing amazing with athletics. It's who's in charge of the office of marketing and communication that is letting us all down. They're the ones, when I came to the athletic department about everything with the pitch, that's where they redirected me. And Maggard's not going to throw another department under the bus, right? He's a good dude. But that's where all of our attention needs to be. I think with Acadiana, it's about making something that is just entertaining. First and foremost, it's entertaining. That's why I, albino, want to be at the games and entertaining. And, you know, how much advertisement does Festival International need? How much advertisement does Festival Acadianzi Creole need? Not much, because people go there.
They don't.
And they know they're going to have a good time. And that's why they keep coming back and they tell their friends and they're invited. That's what needs to be fostered at Cajun Field, Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium.
And here's the problem. And sorry, Jerry, but here's the problem from my perspective is, like you said, and that's why I said the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. You never know who it is that's pulling the button, pushing the buttons, and making things happen or not happen. But this is something that is so freaking simple, man. and it's something we clearly want. And look, there can be disagreements on whether or not they want an alligator or they want this or they want that. But the fact that they came to you and said, no, we're just not interested whatsoever in having a spirit leader just boggles my mind. You know, that's free marketing. Whatever $10,000 you pay for whatever mascot you go with, it's free marketing in the schools. It makes kids ask their parents to go to the game so they can see XXXXX. But again, it feels like they think they're smarter than us, but the results tell us differently. Jerry, am I
dude
off?
No, because Western Kentucky has off-brand Gomer as their from Looney Tunes as their mascot, and is one of the most world-renowned mascots in all of college sports. It's literally Looney Tunes Gomer. That's their mascot, and it works. It
works just because the blob entertains them. You know, I've had to do a lot
Yes.
of research on everyone's mascot,
and
he entertains them, and that's why we love him. He's a personality.
And look, Corey, to your point about albino, look, my mindset is, and I'm please don't take this the wrong way with albino, because you've done a hell of a job and putting the time in and the effort. But I'm at the point now where, let's say they don't want albino. You know what I would do if I were at UL? I'd say, you know what, Corey, thank you so much for the effort. Thank you so much for putting in the time. Thank you so much for your passion and the fact that you care to take so many hours of your free time, basically, to do this. Maybe albino's not the direction we want to go, but tell you what, let's put a team together. You join our team, and we could come up with something I think everybody could be happy about. Would you be okay? Would you be okay with that if they did that?
Oh, 100%.
Have they done that?
Have
they even entertained that thought?
What?
Have they even entertained that thought?
Oh, no. That's never been taught.
But I can tell you, I know several players, several former players who have come to the university and has teamed with TSAB, who has teamed with Tulane in their business and gotten great results for the team. And we can't even get a meeting with them, with UL people. Former players that are now partnering with Tulane and TSAB cannot even get a meeting with the university. That there's a problem. There's an issue there. Josh, I know I see you unmuting. I know you want to chime in so bad, man. It's killing you.
Josh is like the Rottweiler ready to attack. He is the Rottweiler ready to go.
I just want to say one last thing. The university, because I still have friends that go to UL. They're active students. One of which is in class with the SGA president, and he's albino. Like, my friend is an albino supporter. And he's talked to the SGA president about, putting it in front of them, because ultimately it's going to be the students that really make them take off. And the university's already told him this lie that they just don't have the money to pursue a mascot right now. But if you look at the report, the university is on the books for $1.2 billion in construction projects over the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's an excuse.
Billion.
No.
With a B.
No.
So money is coming from somewhere. But,
So here's my question. Can we do a GoFundMe to make this mascot a reality? And if we make it a reality, we start with tailgating. And if the university shows interest, after fans have put up the money, we've made it popular, we've put it out there, then they license that from you to appear at games. I mean, would that work? I'm just trying to think outside the box. Like, if they ain't got the money, okay. If that's the excuse, let's do it.
Funny enough, that's not outside the box. That's probably what it's going to have to be. Everyone knows what is Brutus, the Buckeye, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That didn't come from the university. Most mascots really didn't come from the university.
But Cajun wasn't part of the university.
A fan that just kept going to the games, became beloved, and then the university adopted them.
But I think what we need to be careful with is, because the most pushback I see is people being pissed off because they're like, no, we need to keep the Raging Cajuns. So maybe we need to rethink saying it's a mascot and it's a spirit leader to make sure that they understand we're still the Raging Cajuns.
Okay.
Because that's the biggest misconception I see for some reason.
the most famous mascot, the Cajun chicken. What does a chicken have to do
Because
with
they
the
didn't
Raging
have
Cajuns?
social media back then. He just showed up and they just did the thing. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Now people, but
Goodness
now
sake.
you're saying let's do an alligator, and they're like, no, we can't change Raging Cajuns. So there's a misconception that needs to be corrected.
Is
But
a blob a
guarantee-
hilltopper? Does a hilltopper look like Gomer?
But Corey, let's make this shit happen without the university, and then go from there, man. Let's.
That's why I said on Raging Cajun, great place to be. My next presentation, my little thing to send out on social media, is just all skits. It's just all, this is how Albina is going to interact with kids, with families, with fans, in-game entertainment. So people really get the idea of what we're trying to accomplish. And then the step after that is to start building funds to actually get the costume.
Let's do it, man.
Then you, once people see the script and like, this is what we're gonna accomplish, get the wheels turning, then it's, you know, all hands on deck, and we're gonna take back marketing for the Raging Cajuns, and we're gonna give them the mascot that we've been asking for.
I got a text message from a good friend of mine who listens to the pod, and he's like, we can do a Poo Poo Broussard type mascot. Well, we actually know James, who's Poo Poo. I've actually told James, just put on the Poo Poo Broussard costume and just show up at this point. Because if they're not going to listen to you, Corey, if they're not going to listen to us, at least get a diehard fan to just like James, who went like basically nationwide with his Poo Poo Broussard skit and is still famous. Like, just go as Poo Poo Broussard. I don't care. Dress up as Poo Poo and interact with the fans and do your thing. I mean, it can't hurt
better than nothing, brother.
Yeah, what's
Anything
there
is better than
now?
nothing.
Yeah, do that. Hell, I don't care.
Yeah, so part of the skits is like, since Albino can't talk, since he's a mascot and a gator, that he's always paired with a character that is like a Poo Poo Broussard, and can run these skits with. And since
ding ding ding,
last name
that's
is
funny.
We can make it happen.
Boudreaux, the other one can have the last name Thibodeau. So it's also playing off of that joke within itself too. It's in there. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to share that with you, but don't worry, I'm already thinking about it.
Love it, man. Well,
That's
hey,
awesome.
Corey, I appreciate you for chiming in, man. I know a lot of people out there wanted to hear about it, so thank you. And
keep
we're
fighting
excited for
the good
future,
fight, man.
Yeah.
Keep fighting the good fight.
We got your back, brother. Whatever we can do to help, you let us know.
We need more passionate fans like you that will invest their hard-earned time to do something and money to do something for the school that we love. I mean, we need more passionate fans like you to do something like that. That's fantastic, man. Keep up the good work, and we got your back.
I appreciate y'all. Great day. Go Cajuns.
Andy Thomas, man, you've been holding. Zookeeper will go to you after. What's going on, Andy? How are you, brother?
What up, boys? I'm doing all right. Thank you.
Good.
I guess I'll start with the good. Man, this is a great game. Probably easily their best game of the season in all three phases. Hopefully I'm hoping they continue that on to South Alabama. Their offense scares me a little bit, but I think I was finally pleased with their defense inside of the 20s today. Seemed to play a little bit more pressure. Was happy, cool with that. Probably I'd say honestly though, also best win maybe since like ULM of last year. If not, maybe then 2021. Yeah, that's really all I have. Not much to say or complain about.
But before you go to the next part, I just wanted to say, let's consider that we held Texas State to how many points last week? 17?
So I still think we played better than we did last week.
We did. Defense. We held them to 17. Texas State, I mean, they have a really good scoring. They put up 38 on ULM today. So I think it bodes well for us next week. But again, you can't sleep on South Alabama because they are talented.
True. I think we did even that. I think Terry mentioned it too, man, with that prevent defense in the beginning, towards the end of before halftime, that cost us that one touchdown. So
it did.
It
did.
Grain of salt with that. It's, I'm not counting those points.
No, I agree with you, man.
And then also, I must have missed it. What was going on with their kicker situation? Do they just not have a kicker?
No, I want to say, so I guess my guess is we're up 24-0. It was 31-0. I think what Butch Jones's idea was to go for two to kind of limit the amount of times they have to score. because at that point they were down 4 scores. Actually, they were down when it's 31-0. They were down. Yeah, they were down 4 scores or 5, technically 5 scores, but by going for 2 every time, it would narrow or close in on any type of lead we had if they were to hold us. So it was just his way of being able to kind of narrow the gap of having to make a comeback. I mean, you're down 31-0. I guess I didn't really understand why he did that early on.
Yeah.
But I guess because like when he went for 2, I kind of gauged why he did it. Personally, I just would have kicked the extra point because you're still down 24 and down 3 scores either way.
Yeah.
But that I don't know. I'm not Butch Jones, so I don't know. I don't know what
they didn't get they didn't get any of their conversions, right? If I remember.
No, they were 0 for 2, which in turn didn't make sense because if they just kick the extra points, it's 21 points instead of 19. So I don't know.
Yeah, it made no sense. Anyways, happy for the guys. They played their heart out, and I'm not complaining whatsoever. The bad, definitely. I mean, 15K is about probably what I anticipated, given just everything that's going on, and it's just I kind of posted. It is what is it. It is what it is at this point, with considering who's in the administration and Martin Hall and all that jazz. It's they just need to get the city involved, man. Like, I don't understand why they're not just calling, all the news channels, KATC, City Hall, just blow everything up with UL stuff. I don't care if it annoys everyone, pisses people off. It'll at least have them talking about it.
Again, your local university is in the hunt for a college football playoff spot.
I don't even have. So I mean, you guys know I live in Cincinnati. So I even have my coworkers texting me. I haven't talked to them about it because I was out of the office this week, but they even text me out of the blue like about the Cajuns winning and stuff today. And like I've just talked to them. I'd talk to them probably all week about it. So just I don't care if it annoys them. I just talk to them. And it's going to get interest going. And now they text me about it. So it's not hard. But apparently for the front Martin Hall, and it's an act of Congress to get things done.
Because it takes effort, Andy. You're willing to put it out. But that's a problem.
I don't think it does. It doesn't take that much effort.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't take that much effort. That's what we've been screaming. It doesn't. It's just not there.
It takes send one email a week to like all your news outlets and just be like, hey, make sure you cover this, this, and this. The more you do it, the more it'll help you guys out.
All right, let me tell you how disconnected this is, and I'm going to get in trouble for repeating this. I'm not going to say any names, but there was a certain situation where I had to actually get people involved because they asked a very big supporter to go out and sing a national anthem, and then the day of the singing the national anthem at a sporting event, they came asking for money because you have to donate money to sing the national anthem.
Oh my God!
Like that's how disconnected.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
like that's a perfect example of how like disconnected people are. Like,
I remember
sing
that.
the national anthem, but you have to pay us.
Yes,
that is insanity. So Andy, it is so deep. Like it runs so deep. Like the left hand's not talking to the right hand. It's just it just feels like there is nobody there that is a single decision maker that either Maggard or somebody outside of Joe Savoy can call to make a decision on everything athletics, marketing, everything else. Just make a decision. It feels like there were too many people with hands in the pot trying to do their own thing. And that's how things like you have to, come sing the national anthem, but oh, by the way, you have to pay us happens because they're.
And this was after the university invited them, by the way. They're like,
that's what I'm saying. They invited them.
And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll come sing. And then like another phone call where you got to pay this type of fee to sing. It's like, well, you invited me. Why am I going to pay a fee? I remember that. Yeah, it's funny you brought that up again, Nick.
But it's a perfect example of how dysfunctional we are, and we shouldn't be.
It's not hard, and it's not hard. I think there's just lack of effort. In addition to making some of those boneheaded, kind of like you guys are saying about having to ask someone to donate money to sing the national anthem. And I mentioned it too. I posted about it in the YouTube channel before I joined. It's like 1.42 million in Acadiana. 25,000 of percent wise of that is less than 2%. And if you can't get less than 2%, not necessarily even to, I mean, let's be realistic, there probably wasn't even 20,000 people if you include tailgating. If you can't even get to that, to just show up to the Cajun Field area of all those people, I mean, you got to do something. I mean, it's clearly you can't rely. The people of Acadiana aren't, I did have the philosophy back in the day. I'd be like, it's 2020, whatever. We all have smartphones. We should be able to look up the schedule on our own. I had that philosophy for the longest time. Not anymore. I mean, it's just, you got to get the people to show up, and there's just no community engagement. I don't, as long as this administration is here, it's just going to be is what it is.
I will say we undervalued the importance of the job that Nico Yanko did while he was here, because he's doing that at Murray State right now, and he's making them what we were and want to be, as far as engagement with the community. So that's in my opinion, that's the truth.
And I agree. And I know it's kind of off-putting, but I mean, we're noticing it realistically with all sports across UL.
We've never replaced that role. And look, Maggard's job is not to do that type of thing. His job is to manage from a distance. But we have never worked. I don't know if it's a budgeting thing. I don't know if it's a decision-making thing. But we have never replaced Nico in that regard, and it's hurt us.
It has. I mean, you have to think it. I don't know how much you pay like an assistant AD for something like that, but I mean, shoot, you're losing. I mean, we were pushing over 20,000 every game when he was here, and now we're anywhere from 5 to 6K less per game. The salary would make up for itself with that increased ticket sales across, especially all sports.
Except basketball, but that's a whole nother situation.
I'm a big basketball supporter. I'm not going to talk bad on them. So we're just not smart. We just don't think, man.
Well, here's the problem, Andy. Another thing too is we also have so much turnover, and we have young people who come over here to try to develop, and then they're just looking for their next role. I mean, I look at my buddy Connor, who came here, went to Mississippi State. You had the guy who went to Purdue. Patrick went to Purdue. So you have guys who come over here as a stepping stone. They were trying to prove themselves. I just don't feel like the folks that are here are really trying to prove themselves as much as they were. I think they're just looking for a stepping stone to try to get somewhere else. They're not trying to really prove it here. They're just trying to get over here and then go somewhere else. So, and then they're not even from here, so they don't get the culture. So I think there's just a lot of moving parts there, and I don't know, man.
But they don't even. It seems like they don't try to replace him after.
And that too.
Yeah.
That too. And again, that's when we talk about the man behind the curtain, who's making those calls, right?
I just don't get it, man. It's not hard. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Well, Andy, I appreciate you, man. Always good hearing from you. Zookeeper.
Yeah. Go Cajuns.
Go Cajuns. Zookeeper, you've been holding a while, brother. What's going on, man? How are you?
I am doing great. Just 1 second before I speak with me.
I love the fact that we don't even know your name. We just call you Zookeeper.
Hey, Zookeeper.
Zookeeper is good.
You can call me TJ. It's fine.
TJ, all right. I'll
TJ,
forget
CJ.
that, but CJ, I'll forget it anyway.
All
See, I already forgot it. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all right. Forgive me, my voice is a little bit shot. I was at the game today.
Love it.
Good. Good.
First off, the fact that I wanted 60 proves how badly I think we needed this win today. I kept calling for 60, 70 points because we needed that kind of prove me game, and I think that's what really happened today. My friend, for example, goes to UCF in Orlando, and he was even invested in this game because I know that it's not the same as marketing and advertising and all that, but the fact that somebody from UCF is paying attention to the Cajuns game just to see Timmy McClain and supporting the Cajuns by proxy is important. As for the game itself, I think I covered those bases. was pretty good. I'm surprised Terry didn't find anything negative or too negative. The offense was electric. Like, I looked down at my phone to, see something, and then boom, there's a 30-yard pass, 30-yard run. And I did watch College Game Day today. I did not cry at the Ben the dog segment. I definitely did not. No.
Well, that's why I didn't watch it, because I'm a dog owner and I probably would have. So I just did not watch.
Same here. Yep. Same here. Same here.
I have a dog owner. I have a dog right now. In fact, I am petting her right now. She's looking at me weird, but I digress. College Game Day, I don't think when they were doing that playoff meter, I for some reason, I don't know if I looked at the wrong time, but I didn't see us in it at all. And that falls on the onus of, we need to be the ones marketing this more so than the national media, because I get that they're 60 miles away. It's Paul Skeens and Libby Dunn. Woo. But we at the very least have a chance to win the West next week, I believe. And at the very least, we need to be marketing that. If the administration wants to take stepping stones, win the West, then we win the Sun Belt, then we look into a playoff spot. If they want to do it like that, that would be, small baby steps, and that could be, something that works, maybe. Like, hey, your Raging Cajuns could win a division, the only West division in the country.
But here's the deal. Look, we have Jake Delhomme. We've got Peanut. We've got Alfred Payton. We've got people who are known nationally. It doesn't matter what sport. I mean, we have so many players that could get on and do a quick, 20-second video encouraging people to come to Cajun Field. And we just don't ask. I mean, think about Jonathan Lucroy went off on the election this week on Twitter and had, hundreds of thousands of followers like retweeting his stuff. Like, this is easy, right? And if we were really serious about promoting the game this week for homecoming, we would have engaged them. So That's my challenge. Like, do that. Free marketing. Like, why aren't we taking advantage of all the free marketing that we could be putting out there today?
Right. And I do want to say that I spoke to the punter who was there when Delhomme was quarterback. I forgot his name.
Chris Shaw.
Khrushchev.
Chris Shaw was the punter.
Yeah, that's a Russian. I don't know. That's some Russian assassin. You're Khrushchev, but no, Chris Shaw.
Okay, Chris Shaw. Yeah, he was there tonight. Admittedly, a little drunk, but we're not going to talk too much about that part. And he said that Delhomme was there, which I don't understand. How is Delhomme at homecoming but not spreading the word?
Jake's at every game. He has season tickets. Like,
he's at every game that he can be, because he does the radio. He does the
Carolina Panthers.
But every game he can be at, he's at. But I agree. Like, why is he not front and center there?
Right. And I get that. Perhaps it's that they're picking and choosing their battles. I don't know. I really don't. Because if we're going to talk about basketball needs a hard look in the mirror, because we were only up by 2 on UT Dallas, a Division III basketball team. And it's so.
Look, wait.
Yeah, let's. I don't know if we want to get into that.
Yeah, we.
But the point is your reaction says a million things. It says that we're so blind. Like, football is great, but once football ends, what are we just going to be waiting for baseball? Like, there's a period between
basically
football.
Yeah. If this keeps going the way it is, yeah.
And the administration is just, they're going to keep Bob Marlin because the money talks, but I guess not for a mascot. Which I do want to point out that if we're talking about mascots, the Stanford tree is not an official university endorsed mascot, but it is there. I don't think they've adopted it, but it is there. They're on the sidelines. They're there. I don't know if that's independent of the university, but at the very least, he's there, and he's terrifying. But that's beside the point.
But here's
It's the
what
official mascot of the band, by the way, for the Stanford Tree. It's not the official university mascot. The way they got around it is it's the mascot of the Stanford band.
Well,
Right.
maybe albino needs to be a band mascot.
Yeah.
Who knows? Freaking stupid.
I know people in the band. If I took a straw poll, they would gladly have you as a band mascot. You know.
But Zuki, or CJ, I'm glad you said culture, because we do hashtag culture all the time from the official university accounts.
Right.
And but yet where's the culture? Like what is that? Are you playing Zydeco at a game considered culture? Like, is that what you consider culture? I consider culture like something natural that happens when you engage with the community and they show up. We don't have culture right now. I'm sorry.
Right.
We have a culture of winning, but we don't have a culture of with the community at all. There's a disconnect. And I think there needs to be a culture change. Like, you can tweet out culture, hashtag culture all you want, but until there's an actual culture change within whatever part of the university is trying to engage with fans, we're going to keep seeing 16,000 when we're 7, 8, 9, 1 ranked and whatever. Like, it's going to be the same thing.
Right. And I get to use some of my intern knowledge. I used to work with the people who did hair for some of the football players, including Zion, who transferred. When I talked to him, I said, hey, what's going on? Why did Zion transfer? The main thing he said is that the culture was not theirs. Like, their culture, the culture that UL wants to promote, is not the culture that they were hooked into, that they signed with UL for, if that makes any sense.
Well, that and $500,000 promised to you will do that. So whatever. But moving on.
But the university is not attempting to do what Houston did.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
They rolled out a Lambo with Coach, whatever his name is at Houston, Willie Fritz.
Oh, and by the way, you know how many people are attending UH games these days? About 1,200. So, you know,
therein lies that problem. But I'm not getting into Big 12 problems. The problem, I think, is that the university is scared of something, right? They cling on to what they have that they know isn't going to leave, because if something goes, terribly, terribly wrong, like a mass exodus of basketball players, they can rely on, hey, we have so-and-so coming in, we've had all these players returning, and plus the stability of Bob Marlin. And I don't know much about the players more than talking to them briefly in the halls of H.L. Griffin, but I don't think that the culture is playing, University of Texas at the 6th School Book Depository in a mausoleum. I get it was a Thursday night. I was working. Otherwise, I would have been there. But the fact that we can't get more than 1,200 people, and the people that do come are the same demographic, right? Because when you look at Acadiana itself, it's not just the old Caucasian retired population, right? It's a melting pot, which is indicative not only of Acadiana, but of the whole state. And if we want to talk about the whole state, if we want to brand as Louisiana, we need to learn that our demographic is more diverse than a 60-year-old retiree who's got nothing better to do on a Thursday night. We need to get their asses into the dome,
No, I agree. And I don't want to turn it into a basketball discussion. I know I kind of went out there, but no, I agree. There's wholesale changes that need to be made. And I think the culture that we act like we promote is just not there until they make it, which they can very easily, but they don't listen. So,
right. And roping it back to football, I realized I went on a tangent, and that's my fault. But the team itself is great. I want to start leaning back onto the team itself and not the bigger issues here. This is the best team I've seen since I would say 2021 season. Not even argue 2020 was better.
Probably,
period.
yeah. I was gonna say around that time.
Right. We were good. We were successful. It was magic almost. But the fact that we are there reclaiming the magic that 2020 and 2021 brought, and the university is holding on to, I don't know, loose string, for lack of a better description, of, and I agree with your earlier points. Why did we not, what win, even the win against Wake Forest, we haven't promoted at all. Like, I know Wake Forest is in the middle of the research triangle and not a good football team, but they are a P4 AC team.
I was going to say, they've won some games since we've played them. So, no, that's not an excuse.
Right. And I don't want to hear the excuse of, game day was in Baton Rouge, because let me tell you something. Baton Rouge, I lived in Baton Rouge. I've spent 10 years of my life in Baton Rouge, worst 10 years of my life. Of many things, the one thing they do is shove purple and gold down your throat, right? On the billboards leading into Baton Rouge, live purple, love purple, live gold. They
That's what I'm saying, Zookeeper. Just shove. I don't care how annoying it is. Just shove it down our throats that you
in your face. We've been saying it for so long, man.
I grew up in Baton Rouge myself, and it's it's either you heard just LSU just playing this week, and that's all you heard for
Right.
20 years.
Right. And we've been, and then you could go all the way back to Huey Long, giving LSU all this free stuff and investing in their football team. We don't really have a Huey Long, despite Jeff Landry. That's a whole other discussion.
He's trying today.
He said we are going to bring back a mascot.
Yeah, we were also not at your, you're an alumnus of UL, and you weren't at homecoming today, but you're worried about this stupid tiger that you paid to come in and then promote as Mike the Tiger at the game tonight that nobody even asked or wanted. So whatever. Moving on.
I know. Well, I want to say one point about that tiger thing. I heard everybody talking about, what's the difference? He brought up Colorado's mascot. He brought up, Bevo.
Don't care.
They are herbivores. They are not going to kill a human and eat it.
But we really don't care what he thinks at this point, if we're being honest.
No.
I'm telling you guys, this is his ploy to get UL to the top. This is his start.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, it's working because they're down 28-6 right now. So.
And they just got caught, and their fans just threw trash on the field after a bad call. So it's just everything's just collapsing over there. While we're winning games, they're throwing trash on the field.
Every time the SEC schools threw trash over a questionable call, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. I've heard that's happened twice.
Hey, Zookeeper, let's wrap it up, and then we got to move on. Do you have any final thoughts on tonight?
Final thoughts is the Cajuns put belt to ass, and the administration needs to train a spotlight, train a lighthouse on it, and maybe we'll get the results we're looking for. But that's wrapping it up.
I love it, man. Well, thank you for chiming in. Always, we appreciate your take, Jerry. Look, man, it's been a fun day, but I think that's all the callers we have for tonight.
Sweet.
So I'm turning it back over to you, man.
Yeah, before we wrap it up, let's just see what happened around the Sun Belt Conference. Starting on Thursday, Coastal Carolina hosted App State. Chanticleers back in their winning ways, victorious over App State by the score of 34-28. Today, JMU hosted Georgia State. It was all Dukes for 60 minutes as they defeated Georgia State by the score of 38-7. Marshall traveled down to Hattiesburg to take on Southern Miss, the Thundering Herd, looking like they want to be in control of the Eastern Division down in the Sun Belt Conference. The Marshall Thundering Herd took care of business down in Hattiesburg against the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Marshall victorious over Southern Miss 37-3. Southern Miss now sits at 1-8. UL Monroe looked like they were hot just a few weeks ago. Not so much, as the Warhawks hosted Texas State this morning, and Texas State got back to their winning ways against the Warhawks. Texas State victorious over ULM by the score of 38-17. ULM 5-1 just a few weeks ago, 5-4 today. And last but not least, your Louisiana Raging Cajuns victorious over the Red Wolves of Arkansas State by the final score of 55-19. I like that Fox theme music, man. It kind of previews us into tomorrow. Not that I really am looking forward to tomorrow, but
yeah, whatever.
Hey, you know what? It is a new day because the Saints do have
horizon.
There's new opportunities on the horizon. Yes, because of course the Saints, as you all know, firing Dennis Allen last week, which means we have an interim coach, special teams coach. Coach, I'm drawing a blank right now.
I can't. If you would have asked me like 10 seconds ago, I would have remembered.
Yeah, he'll be Rizzo. Yeah.
He's got Riz. That's what it is, right?
Yes, Darren Rizzi. Darren Rizzi. Merry Rismas.
No, Coach the players were wearing those shirts last year. It was Merry Rismas.
There's no doubt. Coach Darren Rizzi will take over as interim coach as the Saints take on the Dirty Birds of Atlanta. Arch rivalry, as always, tomorrow. And if anybody has any free time while you're in Lafayette tomorrow, if you're in town and you just, you get your church in the morning and you got really got a lazy Sunday, go to the Teague. Go to the Teague at noon. Louisiana Raging Cajuns will be taking on the TSAB Tigers for an 18-inning scrimmage. Go watch the boys of the Water Hose Boys, see what they're all about. Good little
and by the way, I know I'm cutting you off, but if you're in the Houston area, I know the Morgans are here. I know Lucas is here. We got a bunch of players' parents who are in the Cypress area. I am having a watch party for the Saints game. I am making my special jambalaya. So hit me up, DM me, and let me know you're coming. Bring your own drinks, and we'll have a good old time at the Domain residence.
No doubt about it. Yeah, go check it out down in Nick's Dojo down in Cypress. But again, Louisiana Raging Cajuns will take on the TSAB Tigers in baseball. Again, 18-inning scrimmage. I think it's 2 separate games. And $10 admission fee, $10 a ticket to head out. Or I'm sorry,
is it
$10? It's $10 admission. Yeah, $10 admission per person. All the proceeds will go to the UL Baseball Diamond Club. So of course, it's always for a good cause. So if you got nothing else to do, it's always fun to go to the Teague, even in the month of November. Go see some Raging Cajun baseball. But Nick, I think that's all the calls, man. I think we're going to wrap it up. What you think, dude?
Yeah. Shout out to the guy who noticed that I ate some popcorn from my shirt. First of all, I didn't. I had a piece of popcorn, but I did have one fall in my shirt, and then I ate the one that was in my hand. So I did not eat the popcorn that fell in my shirt. But man, I haven't eaten since probably 10 o'clock this morning. I'm hungry. I need some popcorn.
Hey, I'm actually going to grab some food after this. And I will say for everybody who's curious, tomorrow I'm going to be on the lookout in the top 25 rankings. I don't know if Louisiana is going to crack it. They may come close, but I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take a look and see a little line up. Again,
it's always fun to watch. I still don't think
free publicity, man.
But, hey, I'll take it.
Free publicity. But Nick, I think that's going to do it, man. What you think?
Man, it's been a fun day. Even though I got the Holy Ghost out of me.
You were holding that in for a while.
I've been holding that in
for a few weeks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. But look, 8-1 is sweet. Best in the boot. Love it.
All right, closing it out, guys. Again, Louisiana Raging Cajuns victorious over the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Final score 55-19. Louisiana sits with an 8-1 record, 5-0 in conference play, in control of their own destiny in the Sun Belt Western Division. 6 straight wins and hoping for 7 next Saturday against South Alabama at home. Kickoff will be at 6 o'clock. Make sure you get your tickets now to go support this team. Those players deserve it, man. They deserve it. They're playing their butts off and they're winning for this community and this fan base. That's going to do it for tonight, guys. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe. We're on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. You can listen to us on Apple iTunes as well as Spotify. We want to thank everybody who chimed in tonight, whether you commented on YouTube, Facebook, whether you commented on Twitter, whether you called in, gave us your thoughts. It's you guys that make this possible. We can't thank you enough for your support. And look, whatever we can do to spread the brand of Raging Cajun Sports, we will do that. So we'll be back next week, talk a little bit about South Alabama. We got some basketball, a little bit of other sports going on as well. I think we've got some volleyball is coming up, and lots to talk about. A lot of Raging Cajun athletics, or a lot of Raging Cajun athletic events to talk about. And we'll also talk about what's going on around the Sun Belt as well as the race. For Nick, I'm Jerry. In the words of the late, great Big Dave Thibodeau, bye, we out of here. See you next week for more Raging Review. And last but not least, Cajuns win, baby! Let's keep this win streak going. As always, go Cajuns.